something's going on, and I think that people should pay attention. It's very intriguing to me as it pertains to kind of the trickle down effect from supply, which many people like Andrew Maguire are saying there is a wholesale shortage of bars, even though there is a plethora of product in the retail industry. It's kind of hard for people to delineate the two, but when you see this kind of outflow of metal, it says to me maybe he's right.
In this intriguing video, Andy Schectman discusses a series of global events that could potentially reshape the financial landscape as we know it. He highlights a growing concern about the shortage of gold bars despite an abundance of retail products, suggesting a disconnect between supply and demand. Andy then shifts focus to the BRICS nations and their potential alliance with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, with recent announcements of Iran and Belarus joining their ranks. As tensions rise, he points out the significance of a virtual meeting scheduled on the United States Day of Independence. But the plot thickens. Andy unveils the expansion of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, with countries like Kuwait, the Maldives, Myanmar, and the United Arab Emirates vying for dialogue partnership status. He speculates on the impact of the Moscow Exchange launching gold and silver futures with delivery options, potentially disrupting the Western rig system. Meanwhile, President Ruto of Kenya declares the need for a new financial architecture, distancing from institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. As the world questions the United States' credibility, Andy warns that trust in the dollar is waning. He proposes the rise of a new system pegged to gold and other commodities, supported by distributed ledger technology for transparency. In this era of rapid change, he emphasizes the growing narrative of countries coming together for mutual cooperation, heralding a multipolar world. What lies ahead? Could a gold-backed currency be on the horizon, as Jim Records predicts? Andy's captivating insights lead us to a gripping cliffhanger. With the fourth quarter approaching, things are about to get very interesting. Don't miss out on the profound transformation unfolding before our eyes. Watch till the end to uncover the full story and gain a fresh perspective on the global financial landscape.
Shifting gears a little bit, I wanted to talk about what's going on with the BRICS. And what's going on, on a bigger picture. And there are, let's see here, some things, not a lot happening, but some things that are worth talking about. And, I think we have the expansion of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And I have felt for a while now that the BRICS nations will combine with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The players are largely the same, but you have the Soviet Foreign Minister Lavrov just announced that Iran will join the SCO on July 4th and that Belarus will also become a full member. They have a virtual meeting on July 4th, that's tomorrow, and it's chaired by India. And I find it to be slightly, maybe more than a coincidence, that the meeting takes place on the United States Day of Independence. The Republic of Belarus and Bahrain are in the final stage of obtaining dialogue partner status with the Shanghai Cooperation as well. Memorandums were signed for granting dialogue partnership status to Kuwait, Maldives, Myanmar, and the United Arab Emirates. Turkey and other countries are also seeking to join, and all of these countries have applied to many of them to BRICS and to the Belt Road. One of the things I also wanted to bring up, which is interesting to me when you talk about the COMEX, is a note that just came out on the 29th of June that the new Moscow Exchange plans on trading in gold futures in the very near future. In fact, in July, they will launch their new gold and silver futures that will have delivery in, I don't know if it was November and December, but it is a futures contract with delivery options. And one of the things that I was thinking about in the way that they could certainly harm the Western rigged system would be just to issue an AM and PM fix like we were told they're going to do, but set an AM fix, set the fix right away for silver at $50 an ounce and gold for $3,000 and watch what happens to all of the Western supply that immediately arbitrages eastward and never comes back. And I think these are the kind of things that they have in mind. And all of these events that they're doing are little by little by little by little. These pieces are being put into place. President Ruto from Kenya just came out and said, we no longer want the IMF or the World Bank. We need a new financial architecture where governance and power is not in the hands of a few, a new organization of equals. And, we're seeing more and more and more, and which just leads me to a little bit of a rant that I want to mention. And look, after World War II, the United States and has been the leading superpower. And you could argue that almost all of the countries since then, for a very long time anyway, were very happy using the dollar as the world reserve currency. We had the faith, people had the faith in America's government, our financial institutions, and our adherence to the rule of law, right? And I would like to submit that things are changing. And I think we have gained a reputation around the world for sanctioning countries who do not get in line with our agendas, for irresponsibly spending and gross mismanagement of the world reserve currency. We have gained recognition for a banking crisis that I would argue is far from over, and questionable dealings, let's just say, with the president's son, in contrast to what's happening to former President Trump. And I think this must make it a little bit questionable, if not very hard, on much of the world to believe that the rule of law still holds much value in the United States. I would like to think otherwise, but I know that is on the minds of a lot of people. And I think amongst those who understand that the dollar's global role centers on trust. And I would argue that trust is waning. And when we talk about the rise of another system, the only way this system will work will be through the extension of trust. And that's why I think that precious metals like gold, we were told by Jim Rickards that August 22nd at the new meeting in Johannesburg for the BRICS countries, he believes they will issue a currency largely pegged to gold, if not some other commodities. And the way that you make that work is to have the veracity of that gold shown on a distributed ledger, and to do that right, you have it audited and with great transparency. Now, I'm not saying the dollar will disappear all at once, but what I am saying is to not acknowledge the pieces that are being rapidly put into place all around us. Gold's role in this, and actually distributed ledger technologies' role in this new system, I think will be a mistake. And every single day there is a new story. What started out 3 years ago as every quarter now becomes every day, and sometimes multiple times per day, another story that fits this agenda, this growing narrative of countries coalescing together using commodities and mutual beneficial cooperation into what appears to be a new multipolar world where I think gold has a very relevant role. So I just wanted to say that for those people out there who think that countries like the BRICS lack the trust of the rest of the world, I would agree with that statement. I don't think the United States has much of the world's trust any longer either. And that is why Zoltan Pozsar has said, and I agree with him, we have entered Bretton Woods 3, a system dominated by commodities and transparency, and using distributed ledger technology to show the veracity of what is backing, that being the only other tier one reserve asset in the world. Perhaps backing a new system is the only way to make it work. And so that is the motivation of everything that I talk about as it pertains to this growing chorus of countries. And I think to focus on the recency bias of the dollar being the only option in the world, and to never think that a challenger will arise, is a mistake. And unfortunately, I feel we are on the heels or the foothills of a big change. And if Jim is right, and they come out with a gold-backed currency and a bond market to support it, as he surmises, things are going to get very interesting as we head into the fourth quarter.
There you are, folks. Andy Schectman has shed light on the potential shifts in the global financial landscape. From the intriguing disconnect between the supply and demand of gold bars to the expanding alliances of the BRICS nations and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a new era is dawning. With countries seeking dialogue partnership status and the Moscow Exchange planning to launch gold and silver futures, the traditional Western system is facing challenges. Trust in the dollar is waning, while the need for a new financial architecture grows stronger. Join us in staying informed and adapting to these changes by subscribing to our channel. Explore the future of finance and embrace the possibilities of a transforming world. Thank you for watching, and we'll continue to bring you more insights and updates in our upcoming videos.